Dave, do you recall your first days in service and how it all happened?
Oh God, here we go. I uh, I went to Pennsylvania Station in New York, and we got on a train, and we went to Fort Dix in New Jersey. And it was winter time, it's February, and they put us in tents, and it was 14 below zero.
Oy, it's a little cold.
Yeah, I was there for about a week or two, I forget. And when we when we left there, we got on a troop train, and we wound up in uh, North Carolina. What's that? Fort in North Carolina. My mind's, oh my God! Right outside of Fayetteville, Fort Bragg. Yeah, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Okay. Uh,
How old were you?
well, I just just graduated high school. I was 18.
So, what was this experience for you like, leaving home like that?
I was a kid. I was a scared kid. People may not admit it, but they were all scared.
Were most of the ones that you went down to Fort Bragg with, were they all,
It was a troop train.
so it was about the same age? You were all about the same age?
Yeah, we all, right, about 18, most of us.
And where did you go after, how long were you in North Carolina?
Oh, we just took basic training there. There's a couple of experiences I could talk about there. If it's okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I never fired a rifle. Basic training, you do all those things. You know, teach you learn how to fire a rifle, and they gave us a British Enfield, which is a British rifle, and I was in the prone position. You're laid on your stomach, flat on the ground, and I couldn't squeeze it off. You know, but one of the sergeants came over and told me what to do, and next thing I knew, the gun went off, and my shoulder was black and blue.
Ooh.
Of course, it's a British weapon. It's not like the American. The American weapon was the M1 Garand, and it was much better rifle. And I got that when I got to my next base, in Virginia. And one more thing about Fort Bragg. It was a Sunday, and I went to a little town outside of Fayetteville, outside of Fort Bragg called Fayetteville. And I got on the bus, and most of it was crowded. So there was a colored lady came on with a baby, so I got up to give her my seat because she had a baby. And she said, no, I have to sit in the back. That's the way in those days,
That was definitely different from what you were used to.
Yeah, I'm a New Yorker, and this is the South, North Carolina. So anyway, she said, I have to sit in the back. And when we got to Fayetteville, we got on, I got out, got off the bus, and the street there were actually the stands where they sold the slaves. It was still up.
Still there after all those years?
After all those years, this was 1943. You would think by 43 that they'd do away with that,
Right.
They still had the stands up. I just couldn't. I just got sick about it. Thinking about, the lady had to sit in the back, and this business with the slavery, terrible thing.
What was your job in the service? What was your assignment?
Well, after I left Fort Bragg, I went to Virginia, and they put me on one of those anti-aircraft outfits, and they put me in radar. I was a radar operator. Anyway, we didn't go to the Aleutians. For some reason, we wound up in Hawaii.
It's
Yeah.
not bad detail. It's much different than Alaska.
Well, there's combat going on in the Aleutians. Oh, I got a great funny story I got to tell you about this. I don't know if I mentioned it to you before. My sister-in-law, her name was Pearl, and she lived in Brooklyn. And she told me if I ever get to Hawaii, to send her a grass skirt. So that's just what I did. But the only thing funny about it is I went into Honolulu and went into one of those stores and got a grass skirt that was made in Brooklyn.
So the skirt was made in Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah, there's a picture over there of her in the grass skirt.
Oh, wow. That's great.
And I call her Pearl of the South Seas.
Isn't
We got on another ship. We were supposed to wind up in Guam, in the Mariana Islands. So it was a captured Japanese ship called the Kota Maru. And we got on it, and it took us about a week. But before we got to Guam, we stopped off in Ulithi in the Caroline Islands. Nobody knew it, but it was a secret Navy base. And the Navy had, on that ship, the Navy had Tokyo Rose saying that all your ships are gone. You know, they didn't know about this.
Broadcasting that to all the
Yeah,
soldiers.
so when we went up on top of the deck, and I saw hundreds of ships there, American ships. That's something.
Yeah.
And then we wound up on Guam. We hit Guam in the rainy season.
Oh, that's not fun.
Huh?
Yeah, there's a picture of you here. I'm going to put it in front of here. There's a picture of you in Guam right here.
Oh yeah, is that the one with my friend?
Yep, that's one with your friend. And that's a friend that you still see today?
No, he passed away
He's
recently.
the one that passed away recently. But did you see him?
Oh yeah, I spent almost a year. I was about a year on.
How did you stay in touch with your family when you were?
Well, I just letters.
Did you ever get care packages?
Yeah. My friend's mother sent me a salami.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah. She sent me a salami. And when I got it, there was all white mold over the outside of it. Well, when you took the skin off.
What did you do while you were on Guam? I mean, what was your...
We were supposed to be there
we
were supposed to be there to protect the B-29s, which the biggest plane we had. It went from the Mariana Islands to Japan, and it took them about 1,500 miles to get there, 1,500 miles to come. But we went on patrol about once a week, because the Japanese were hiding there. So I heard that they were there after the war ended for years.
Oh.
They just didn't know the war ended. You know, we tried to get them to come, and you know, we tried to tell them the war was over. I heard about 20 years later there were still Japanese there. Can you imagine? We got on a ship. But then they dropped the atomic bomb, and that ended the war. So we didn't go. Went back to our base, you know. Tibbetts.
Yes.
Paul Tibbetts was the pilot of the Enola Gay, the plane that dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima. And I met him at the Air Museum here in Bradley Field. You know. After we talked for a while, I got up, I shook his hand, and I said I wouldn't be here today if the war hadn't ended when it did. And he said, you and thousands more like you. And I shook his hand, I turned around and walked away.
Yeah, because there was a large estimate of how many people would have
God, that's
perished
probably
if you had invaded
probably
Japan.
500,000
Mhm.
Americans would have died.